Oops, there we go. Sorry. OBS and my whole computer rather took a die, so I'm back. Sorry. If you're there, sorry. If you're not there, sorry. Hi. Let's see if we can pick up our
But
our
no,
place. Ooh, we did. I have to tinkle really badly. So hold this. MIDI controller's not working yet too. Give me a sec. BRB, I gotta piss. Really bad. Hi again. Howdy. Hope you're well. Sorry. My whole computer took a die, right? So I apologize. One sec. I'm like getting back into life. I have to restart soon. I also went to go and rejoin the I'm Autistic Now What Discord to maybe drop my deets on that thingy. My thing about the person's literature in the past. I had to rejoin. Wait, did I? Holy shit, there's no way I had to. Club? What the fuck? I think I'm already there still. Oops. Lol, what the fuck? No, I'm not. Wait, am I? Do I see the snail? Oh shit, I was. That was a lot of run around for nothing. That's lame. Oh well, I suck. Thank you for letting me BRB. Sorry I had to deal with, like, pottying and stuff. I will get my notes together and have a proper info dump as one should. Give me a sec. We are just a reacty channel today, aren't we?
White knighting. So the mods came and took that one. You're not allowed to stick up for disabled people on this subreddit.
You're not allowed to stop abuse of people on that
because
subreddit.
That would get in the way of
It would harsh their vibe and kill their fun. Also make them not have a good time.
cringing. And someone did say some people here probably do just hate mental disorders and just want to mock people under the cover of calling out fakers. That comment got nearly 200 thumbs up, which is good. I just think somebody genuinely going out of their way to manipulate people, fake a disorder on social media, surely that is very, very rare, and there are constantly posts on fake disorder cringe. Surely the risk of doing that, of making fun of someone with an actual disorder, does that not outweigh the benefits of cringing at people who are faking disorders? Ignore them, scroll past. Anyway, as I say now, I feel a bit embarrassed for making it all about me in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support me on Patreon, you also get to join my Discord server. If you do so, you're welcome to. I have a load of exclusive videos up on there, almost 20 now, and podcast episodes, outtakes.
That's just me.
I always link it in my description. Have a look, check it out, see if it's something you might want to join, but no pressure to, no rush. It's not going anywhere. You can join at a later date and you'll still get access to all of that content. I'll link the Fake Disorder Cringe playlist, and thank you so much again to Bellesa for sponsoring the video. If you would like to enter the giveaway, I'll leave the link in the description. Might as well join and see what you get. You have nothing to lose, and I will see you in my next video very, very soon.
Boing.
If you still want to watch now that I'm an exposed faker. And then even if I am diagnosed, I'm not diagnosed twice, so that's not enough. They need to see the qualifications of the person
I'm diagnosed 3 times.
who diagnosed me. You know what?
I've had to get evaluated multiple times, like as a kid, as an adult for social services, and again as an adult. Like, so I hit all 3 of the watermarks, and somebody's still gonna probably be on some bullshit about me one day. You know what? Fuck them.
They just don't think I look good.
I'll just hit them with literature and tell them to shut the fuck up like I do all the time. Who the fuck cares?
And that is it. And that is all it comes down to. And I'm sorry, you cannot tell that someone is autistic by looking at them, and that better exemplifies the problem with this subreddit. Anyway,
yeah. Bye. Bye. GTFO. Look out. to quickly fix the thing. Hold on. What? So what?
And I think the more we try to repress that inner Hitler, that shadow side, via denial, dissociation, or projection, the more likely Hitler is to rear his head in uglier and uglier ways.
I'm confused
because
already.
things we repress have a tendency to fester and transmute. I think the challenge then is to acknowledge
Okay.
and confront
I can
the
see the
Hitlers
abstract.
within us.
This is Catherine, a lesser-known breadtuber that seems to be
But I'm
absent
here
from
for
many
this.
conversations about this genre of YouTube. But credit to her, she has kept it up for 5 years and done some relatively good numbers on her videos. I have had a particular interest in her because I believe Catherine to be completely lost in the breadtube source. And because of this, from time to time, she'll say things that I find to be absolutely insane. So I've watched a bunch of her content and I'm here to share my findings. And I would like to give Catherine one piece of praise, and that is that she has found herself a niche, that being incorporating spiritual and mystical style commentary into her videos.
If I mention psychedelics as plant allies, people claim it's unscientific. If I suggest it might be instructive to listen to the wisdom of our bodies, nature, our ancestors, people say it's hippy-dippy mumbo-jumbo.
And you know, this isn't my thing, but I'm giving her a point for originality. Maybe
Like, phraseologies where I generally, I think, come to bear with my, like, bucking bullshit at the moment, but we'll see.
Catherine can find a route to break free from the shackles of generic breadtube arguments.
But I do worry that the rejection of these things often mirrors the very logic of white supremacist capitalist patriarchy.
Okay, maybe I was being naive. It's all going to be the same old shit again. It's long, faux intellectual video essays about the harms of patriarchy
the
and
same old
capitalism,
shit,
delivered with a
what have you
cadence
been
that if
doing?
you're unfortunate enough like me, you'll be able to recognize as a dead ringer for the delivery of the type of poetry women do, where they talk about how they dislike their previous boyfriends and how they're really sad about oppression, hanging on certain words to try to make things sound profound, does not make this content more palatable.
When you first clicked on this video, what crossed your mind when you heard my southern British accent?
Well, for me, I have my own personal Vietnam flashbacks of the times
Why fuck this person off rip?
when I used to think it was a good idea to hook up with hippie chicks. No, Matilda, it's Sunday. I don't want to eat porridge at a drum circle and listen to people recite poetry. But Catherine covers all of the predictable topics you'd expect from a breadtuber: capitalism, patriarchy, colonialism, all the good stuff. And this
Like, they both can be kind of shit at delivery, you know?
has distilled in her a strong sense of guilt and a bit of a savior complex.
When I was at university, we got free career counselling in our final year, and I remember saying to my career counsellor, "Can you tell me what job makes the most difference in the world?"
Well, Catherine,
Deadass from me. Waste management. Without them, I'd die.
I'm glad
Probably to sepsis.
that you found the most important job of all time, being a breadtube video essayist that chills their Patreon. And look at this, very on brand, you've got the beautiful
Like, my stance in this so far is just because someone uses a word that aligns with something you might also recognize doesn't mean that they are there to support you in an appropriate way. That would apply to literally anyone watching this VOD at this moment. Like, you know, watching me, watching them, watching the original creator, any of it. We gotta learn more.
cosmos
Dig,
with a
dig.
glowing fist rising up in the middle. And the Patreon tiers are all on brand too. You
What do you mean, what's this dude's deal?
can be a horizon voyager, a cosmic dreamweaver, a utopian artisan, or if you want to pay $35 a month, you can become a celestial conduit. But what I really want to get into is the guilt that her ideology has bestowed upon her. So let's take a look at the video. I traveled the world and I regret it.
I'm supposed to say that I enjoyed every moment, that traveling transformed me, that it was the best time of my life. But in this video, I want to talk about why the opposite is actually the case.
I mean, this person's looked at them already and reviewed their content, and we're just coming in here fresh. We don't know shit. They could be Dr. Disrespect 2.0 for all we know right now. We don't know shit. Right? Like, they might say fucking, like, caring about others, but what if their actions represent something else? We don't know shit yet. So, we'll just listen.
Case, why in hindsight I regret a lot of my travels, and why traveling is kind of overrated.
Okay, she's going to make a case for why she didn't enjoy the huge opportunity she had to travel the world.
One of my primary motivations for traveling was escapism from the daily rat race and drudgery of
Got it.
capitalism. Meanwhile,
Fixed it.
the poorest
Took
at
me a long
home
time.
and abroad never get the opportunity to escape the brutality of their lives.
So other people can't have the same experience as Catherine, and that fills her with such guilt that in retrospect she does not look back fondly at her time travelling.
They are too poor. They are too poor to go anywhere. They are too poor to escape the reality of their lives.
And hey, are you thinking of going travelling? Well, maybe have a listen to what revolutionary activist Catherine has to say about it, and then think again.
Rather than questioning why modern life is such that so many of us feel the need to escape from it, the privileged amongst us can opt out or take a break from the system rather than challenging it. Problems that used to be solved via unionizing, organizing, and agitating can now be solved for a minority of us via a light travel excursion.
You think you're going to go and enjoy yourself? You think you're going to go and take a break? Well, we live in a capitalist, patriarchal, white supremacist society, so how about you join our anarchist protest instead?
There we go.
Oh, and that money you've been saving up? How about you do something good with it, like becoming a celestial conduit? But seriously, this isn't just a bad faith clip, this is a big point to her argument.
But we really have to question the ethics of that escapism if it's based off of the suffering of others, has a pacifying effect on society, and blunts the edges of political resistance.
This just doesn't sell the ideology to me. Become a progressive anti-capitalist, and you too can stop enjoying things
Info
because
dump.
of the
That's what I
overwhelming
needed.
guilt of your privilege. But don't worry, if you're white and you're feeling a lot of white guilt, well then you can be like Catherine and just
Question of
refuse to be white. And on the
Resources.
face of it, that might
Perfect.
sound completely crazy. And if you haven't had the unfortunate life trajectory to understand where she's going with this, let me fill you in. So Catherine's concept of whiteness uses a similar understanding to what friend of the show Thought Slime talks about in his video, where he says, what is the
So, let me get this out of the way before I have to sit on it for 2 fucking years. Any form of prejudice or inclusion or preclusion from any activity based upon immutable traits, inclusive of the way you fucking look, isn't helping, right? Like, you can address the fundamental parts of it without having to reduce people to their immutable parts. I think that this person is doing a prejudice. Like, the person that Liquid Sonic is talking about, themselves, right? Catherine is doing a prejudice. Possibly with every intent of being kind, they are still contributing to the net prejudice in the world, the manifestation and upkeep of it. Even at this point, from what they have said alone, I can make that very easily stated. Right? That isn't a very hard stretch. That's an easy thing to relate to and to mention and notice. How come? They have called people by their perception of the color of their skin repeatedly in a classification for inclusion or preclusion of activity and their assessments of them. In no world have I been content, okay, or even deeming prejudice of any sort appropriate. So, at this moment, I have more reason to be sour towards the person that they're reviewing than I have reason not to be. I can still think everyone's being unhelpful, but I can also directly point to what I think causes harm, which is prejudice, the evocation of it, and the maintenance of it under the auspice of protecting another group. I can still say that that is inappropriate. I can still say that any prejudice is inappropriate, and I can still stand that. So, this is why I sometimes say, the last thing you want to do is be my in-group, because my pedantic nature will be put at a fever pitch for you. She is prejudiced.
We got free career counseling in our
They've all topics you'd
I'm not repeating the words she said because I violently find them vehemently inappropriate. I went too far. I went way too far. Okay, let me just be very clear. Calling people white is still inclusion or preclusion of something based upon an immutable trait. What else is inclusion or preclusion of something based upon an immutable trait? Telling me that I'm an ASD person and I can't do certain things. Why might I think inclusion or preclusion based upon immutable traits is inappropriate? I have always given people shit when they start reducing people to their perception of the color of their skin, and I never have patience for it. I will not, I do not, I do not.
many conversations about this genre of YouTube, but credit to her, she has kept it up for 5 years and done some relatively good numbers on her videos. I have had a particular interest making faux intellectual videos and words to circle
we got free
all the good stuff, and this has distilled in her capitalism. But Catherine covers all of the predictable topics you'd expect from a breadtuber: capitalism, patriarchy, colonialism.
Yeah, this alone, I find inappropriate. I've never found that appropriate. If you know me worth a lick worth of shit, you'd know that I always distasted anyone reducing people to their immutable traits. Also, the further framing of this person as opposed to, like, you know, folks that they might consider others also seems to be inappropriate and unhelpful. Yeah, I do not appreciate or approve of that in any capacity from anyone. No, I don't. I never have and I never will. If you need to call people this or something that is otherwise, I don't fucking have time for that bullshit in my life. I will tear it down like I will tear down everything else I find unhelpful. I will derail this goddamn stream and disambiguate why it is inappropriate, unhelpful, and harms us all as like a net fucking whole. If I fucking have to, I will pull this stream over and I will tear this a new ass. Okay, what about my point though?
All the good stuff, and this has distilled in her.
Like, people can be callous and cold to something because of the way it's presented. The person presenting it and the leverage of consistent prejudice that they bring,
patriarchy, colonial,
degrades any of this getting further, right? Like, I'm going to be quite clear in this. This person saying they stand for these things, yet invoking this, detracts from all of our growth as a whole. So to see them squabble is very little to me. So much so as calling out when I see prejudice. And when you see it, it helps you to, I'm not an optics bitch, but I damn sure know that if I say I am hurt by people being unkind and I don't like when slurs are used against me, why would I enable, encourage, or let someone who levies slurs say they stand for or by me? They're more likely to cause my death than my uplifting. That I can say for fucking sure. So this person's stances are more likely to hammer in this hole of prejudice. I don't know why Martin Luther King has red eyes in this. I don't know. But I can say that from her words alone to this point in the VOD, we're 2 minutes deep in a 14-minute video. I can say by what she has been even clipped saying, and we can go look at her shit, but I know for a fact there are a lot of people that say that they are progressive people that consistently refuse to set down prejudice, and they will still pick apart others because of their immutable traits, and they look at me cockeyed when I say this is inappropriate, and to which I will stand them down as I do anyone else who invokes a bit of prejudice, and I will point it out and take it apart. People that say that they are standing for racial justice don't get to be the ones who then also hinge all of their assessments, analyses, and arguments on such, without also accepting that they are degrading the state of our world as a net, and they are fucking it up more than helping.
colonialism, all the good stuff, and this has distilled in her a strong sense of guilt and a bit of a saviour complex.
When I was at university, we got free career counselling in our final year, and I remember saying to my career counsellor, "Can you tell me what job makes the most difference in the world?"
Well, Catherine, I'm glad that you found the most important job of all time, being a BreadTube video essayist that chills their Patreon. And look at this, very on brand, you've got the beautiful cosmos with a glowing fist rising up in the middle. And the Patreon tiers are all on brand too. You can be a Horizon Voyager, a Cosmic Dreamweaver, a Utopian Artisan, or if you want to pay $35 a month, you can become a Celestial Conduit. But what I really want to get into is the guilt that her ideology has bestowed upon her. So let's take a look at the video. I travelled the world and I regret it.
I'm supposed to say that I enjoyed every moment, that traveling transformed me, that it was the best time of my life. But in this video, I want to talk about why the opposite is actually the case. Why, in hindsight, I regret a lot of my travels, and why traveling is kind of overrated.
Okay, she's going to make a case for why she didn't enjoy the huge opportunity she had to travel the world.
One of my primary motivations for traveling was escapism from the daily rat race and drudgery of capitalism. Meanwhile, the poorest at home and abroad never get the opportunity to escape the brutality of their lives.
So other people can't have the same experience as Catherine, and that fills her with such guilt that in retrospect she does not look back fondly at her time travelling.
They are too poor. They are too poor to go anywhere. They are too poor to escape the reality of their lives.
And hey, are you thinking of going travelling? Well, maybe have a listen to what revolutionary activist Catherine has to say about it, and then think again.
Rather than questioning why modern life is such that so many of us feel the need to escape from it, the privileged amongst us can opt out or take a break from the system rather than challenging it. Problems that used to be solved via unionizing, organizing, and agitating can now be solved for a minority of us via a light travel excursion.
You think you're going to go and enjoy yourself? You think you're going to go and take a break? Well, we live in a capitalist, patriarchal, white supremacist society, so how about you join our anarchist protest instead? Oh, and that money you've been saving up? How about you do something good with it, like becoming a celestial conduit? But seriously, this isn't just a bad faith clip, this is a big point to her argument.
But we really have to question the ethics of that escapism if it's based off of the suffering of others, has a pacifying effect on society, and blunts the edges of political resistance.
This just doesn't sell the ideology to me. Become a progressive anti-capitalist, and you too can stop enjoying things because of the overwhelming guilt of your privilege. But don't worry, if you're white and you're feeling a lot of white guilt, well then you can be like Catherine and just refuse to be white. And on the face of it, that might sound completely crazy. And if you haven't had the unfortunate life trajectory to understand where she's going with this, let me fill you in. So Catherine's concept of whiteness uses a similar understanding to what friend of the show Thought Slime talks about in his video, where he says, what is the definition of whiteness? And he'll say these things like, but some people look a bit brown and are still considered white. And he'll go on and on like this, picking away at the edges of the definition to the point that he says that whiteness doesn't really mean anything. So then he can swoop in and drop a couple truth bombs being like, and you know why the concept of whiteness actually exists? It's used to oppress people. Brilliant stuff if you're a middle-class white person that hates yourself, but you sound like a complete maniac to any normal person. When I was watching stuff for my Thought Slime video, I shrugged this off as some stupid rage bait, but Catherine must have also came across this concept, and she has ran a bloody mile with it.
I am a white person living in a white supremacist society. I am born into its logic, encultured into its worldview, suffused with its habits. It's corrupting me and killing me. I want desperately to be liberated from it. That's where this video starts, with an acknowledgement that my words today are born out of selfishness. I want to find a way out of whiteness so that I can claim my full humanity. My hope is that in
by not essentializing colorism and racialism. I think by not essentializing colorism and racialism, we all make better strides as people. Yet you're currently essentializing colorism and racialism as the means for your argument and your analysis of further anything, which I don't think furthers anything aside from the divide that we as a people face and the damnation that we are all conscripted to.
Drawing attention to the deleterious effects of whiteness, we can begin to recognize that our own liberation as white people is inextricably linked with the liberation of all.
Drawing a delineation between people like this isn't appropriate. I do not stand behind drawing delineations between people, essentializing racialism and colorism, and then furthering racialism and colorism by doubling down into it as a means to analyze it. I do not get behind this at all. This does not stand for me. This does not help me as a person. This does not help those who I love. This does not bring up people that I appreciate and that I love and I wish to see thrive. This doesn't help a single person that I know.
So Catherine uses the concept of whiteness so loosely that it just becomes a catch-all term for anything bad. She talks about problems that her family have, but these aren't personal things that they need to fix.
Those are class things, by the way. Those are class things.
It's because they've been indoctrinated into whiteness.
The men are mostly all alcoholics, half of them are mentally unwell, and my aunt, who might as well be called Karen, gets her life meaning by going on package holidays, then getting a refund by complaining to customer service. The dullness of whiteness, the lack of meaning, the lack of true fulfillment, the lack of real feeling. Is this really all life is about?
This broad usage of a term to be able to explain away any problems people have is so useless. It just becomes a
Mood. Actually fucking mood.
meaningless
Good job so
boogeyman in
far.
the same way the bread
Don't
tubers
fuck it
use
up.
the term capitalism.
Don't fuck it up.
Capitalism is why this is ruined. Capitalism is why this thing in your life is bad. But for Catherine, she is using the buzzword whiteness for this video,
Custom
and
dogs.
whiteness she believes to be the cause of death for her childhood friend.
My first friend and best friend when I arrived in England was a boy who died at 16. Medics ruled that he died of poor health, but in my
fuck is
opinion,
this?
he also died of whiteness.
What an absolutely ludicrous thing to say. Imagine Catherine filing an autopsy report.
He also died of whiteness.
Seriously, if you happen to watch this video and you just nodded along to this, please just stop watching content online, go and watch a Netflix serial killer documentary or something. Because if you think this is cool and you start mimicking these talking points in real life, I'm almost sure this is going to have a negative impact to you socializing with people. So Catherine's explanation for this is that she had this childhood friend that had a hard life and started falling into right-wing beliefs because of this.
And yet, despite whiteness being a cause of his suffering and eventual death, throughout his life, he increasingly became invested in white supremacy. He went from the sweetest, kindest boy at 5 years old to staunchly anti-immigrant, anti-social safety nets, pro-privatization.
Refugees are taking our jobs. We shouldn't be giving tax dollars to black people.
Were some of his frequent talking points in his teenage years.
And to be fair, when people become obsessed with certain political beliefs to the point that it's all they talk about, they can become incredibly annoying to be around. But the revelation Catherine comes to because of this is truly unbelievable.
So yes, my best friend died of poor health, but I think he was also murdered. Or perhaps more accurate would be to say he was dead long before his 16th birthday. Because to disregard solidarity, brotherhood, and the beauty of resistance culture, to instead fight for the suffering of your fellow beings and your very own body, is to die a spiritual death long before you take your last breath.
I don't know if that rhyme at the end was intentional, but it...
Like, it's very woo-woo and flowy, but it talks around things. It does that thing that I sometimes call out when people use the phrase narcissism as a slur or the word narcissism as a slur, a lot of times folks don't know it's a trauma response. It's very inappropriate when they give critique to it. It's that thing that people who do that tends to not observe about themselves, which is when folks tends to use a word for the emotional weight rather than actual analysis or communicative purposes. They're doing something that is more in line with protecting their sense of self at the cost of others than anyone whom they have called a narcissist as a slur. Which is super weird because like that's what you'd, if anything, like, you know, if you're me, that's what you'd like, you know, look for in terms of people who aren't taking care of themselves the most, you know? That's the kind of thing that I would genuinely look at as like a, oh gosh, are you okay? Is this really still playing? Oh shit, it is. Holy shit, that's awesome. Like, putting it in its own browser window has saved everything. Again, I can link y'all to this. It's just blowing my mind how helpful putting it in its own little window has been. For me as a person, not just in general, but for me as a person. I'm not like logged in or anything. Does this work? Oh shit. Bruh, this is so nifty. Okay, you know what? I think I'm in love with this. First off, it's DEF CON radio, which is like perfect. Because how are we supposed to live without our HackerCon of preference? I mean, ShmooCon's good, and I think the last one's happening, and I don't get to go. Because my life is forfeit. I want to go to the last ShmooCon, goddammit. What the fuck? Somebody, come take me to the last ShmooCon, please. For the love of tit shit and Galifianakis. What in the Zach Galifianakis? What in the Zach Galifianakis? Take me to the last ShmooCon, goddammit. We should have been more of an engineering show, so I could have like totally just like home office. I'm kidding when I say this. So I could have home office expensed the IRS for me going to ShmooCon. I'm still kidding is now done. That was my last joke. I don't want to joke about fucking the feds up. Enough people take that seriously in terms of the to which they try to fuck them up that like I'm not trying to encourage it directly. I will joke a little bit, but I will give a hard delineation to when my humor in that context is dead. Which again, was then. Anywho's. Hey, if you're on YouTube and you're wondering why the fuck this bitch won't shut the fuck up, it's because Twitch had an ad break. Ha! Didn't even fucking let you know. I'm coy like that.
It hit. That was some real shit right there. But seriously.
Fight for the suffering of your fellow beings and your very own body is to die a spiritual death long before you take your last breath.
I don't know if that...
See, like, I have been saying that leveraging racialism and colorism detracts from all of us, and if people say that they want to take care of me, or they care about me, but they levy that, they're more likely to be the contributor to my death, which hits a similar vein, right? It's like equally as woo-woo, so I can like see some alignment there, but I also don't see alignment on the racialism and colorism essentialization, and I also find it to be abhorrent and entirely reprehensible and unforgivable of an act.
Rhyme at the end was intentional, but it hit. That was some real shit right there. But seriously, if she's earnestly saying this, Catherine must just lack self-awareness to a dangerous level. Like, I think a breadtuber such as Catherine believes that she needs to have this profound vulnerability that leads her to saying other crazy things such as this.
These days, despite the fact that I see myself as a leftist committed to social justice,
You still essentialize racialism and colorism to a dangerous effect against people and their inclusion or preclusion of activity or even growth. And you use that as a form of prejudice and a cudgel, rather. Form of prejudice and a cudgel. I can unmushmouth myself live. We're good. And are you growing and learning? Because that's all I care about is if you're growing and learning, goddammit. Like, I don't give a shit much else about are you growing and learning? Can you observe this? Because everybody does some fucking unhelpful shit sometimes, right? Like, that's fucking life. We want to see ourselves. We want to see our fellows. We want to see those whom we share this world with grow. It's okay to be an unhelpful schmelpful. What matters is how you grow from that. Do you stagnate? Do you double down? What do you do?
and
Do you grow?
appropriately anti-racist. If I'm really honest, I think on some deep subconscious level, I still fear non-white people.
Honest critique here, I don't think this is having the impact that Catherine is intending, because all I am feeling from this is a visceral second-hand embarrassment. But Catherine, she does get some backing from some other thinkers in this video. There's this absolutely lovely woman. Let's take a listen to what she has to say.
One of my favorite thinkers on unlearning internalized oppression is the writer and poet Sonia Renee Taylor.
And just a quick one, maybe thinkers is an academic term, but when I hear someone use it, I just feel immediate revulsion. There must be a better term to use, just sounds so pretentious.
The less that you identify on a soul level with whiteness, meaning, and that doesn't mean eschew it, that means look for it and remove it from yourself, right? It is not, oh, that's not me. It's, oh, I don't want that to be me. Something is rotting in here. Let me get to investigating so that I can remove that. Because it's
The essentialization of racialism and colorism is, in my opinion, a strong and staunch L. I don't support it. I don't enable it. I don't encourage it.
stinking up my space. It is
The racialism and colorism is stinking up my space, yes.
about whiteness, the construct that is rotting the material and spiritual and economic and political realities of Black and brown people around the world. While
You know, you hoped it was an abstract if you're me, and then you just felt the crushing realization that it was just the furtherance of the essentialization and of racialism and colorism in someone's analysis and critique of a system, instead of rather trying to flee the bounds of it and the binds that it holds us by, it's instead conscripting us to endeavor to deal with it more. If you're me right now, you feel a woeful sadness course over your heart. Your bones feel empty. You had hope and dreams, and even pictured raspberry-flavored things. And now, you just see people who say that they have interests that might have aligned with yours, but instead, they're essentializing racialism and colorism to the detriment of society, and you have horror and fear in your heart. And you want your others, your fellow cohorts on Earth, to grow, and you hope that they fucking will. If you're me, that might be how you fucking feel right now.
while also at the same time rotting the internal spiritual and emotional and mental lives of those who were assigned whiteness at birth. You are struggling in this system as well. It is killing you too. It's killing you. It's killing all of us.
So I'm sure we've all heard AFAB, but now we have AWAB.
Those who were assigned whiteness at birth.
Bruh,
And what,
nah.
people are going to presumably
Bruh, nah.
racially transition?
We might even manage to stop being white.
Oh yeah, same for me too, bud. I'm mind you, I'm holding a Steam Deck just as a way to make a point. I'm totally gonna fucking install a PlayStation under my desk to play Bloodborne. What? I like hack and slashes. I like combat perfection games. What can I fucking say? You know who I am as a person. What? Don't act surprised. What is a bread tuber? In this case, it's the separation of someone from the otherwise social condition where we describe them as someone who espouses progressive beliefs. Yet in this context, there's someone who is explicitly deferring to racialism and colorism as a way to essentialize what people may and may not participate in or include or preclude themselves from. And I find it to be wickedly dangerous. I find it as a prejudiced person using the phrase leftist and bread tuber to further their prejudice and their observance of racialism and colorism to then go about causing harm in the world. If you ask me in the context of what this person Liquid Sonic is reacting to, that's what I think that Liquid Sonic is watching, and that's what I think I am watching Liquid Sonic reacts to. Then again, y'all don't know how many hands I've thrown.
Good luck with that, Catherine, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I think
Y'all don't know how many hands I have thrown with organizations that I call out on racialism and colorism. Y'all don't know the depth of which I have levied this sentiment. Y'all may not know that I've thrown hands with systems and institutions bigger than me, and I don't give a fuck. I'm right. I will call them wrong, and if they can't engage me on fucking actual valid information, but instead have to hit me with some woo-woo to the heart bullshit, they can get the fuck out and shut the fuck up. I'm about to fucking bring my fucking pedantic fucking e-peen and mollywop a bitch. That's what I do.
We've hit the peak of crazy today, so I'm going to leave it there. Part of me does think that Catherine is somewhat intentionally rage baiting with these videos, so I'd advise not going to interact with her videos, leaving comments and the such, because I do think it actually helps her out. I got suckered into watching this rubbish, and don't make the same mistake that I did. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and sub to the channel, and thanks for watching.
Bye. Get out. What's next? Yes.
I've recently been having trouble sleeping. I know.
Yeah, you have a CRT in behind you. You put a whole entertainment system up in here. Your room just lost so much floor space, which, by the way, is respectful. There's a fucking... Oh my gosh, you have a fuck... Oh my shit, is this Storm Ruler? You have Dark Souls 3 fucking figures in your house? You have Gwyn's son? Oh shit, you got Gwyn's son as a fucking statue. Bruh. Get the fuck out with that. That is too cool. What's this fucking record? Did the fucking gold play button go away so you could put this shit up? What the fuck is it behind this? There's a whole goddamn entertainment system back here. Brother. This shit's kind of legit. It's very crowded. Not my take. But this is a streaming room, not a bedroom, so... It's pretty. It's very pretty. I like it. I like the eclectic nature of this fucking gorgeous shit you got going on. Every time I hear someone say goof juice, I think they're saying goon juice. Like, not just every time I think I hear goon juice. Which is in my echolalia like a motherfucker some days. Like, I think I hear goon juice all the time. You even got your fucking little ad there, but it's cut off by the photo you've got that you need to hang up because you put your Godsmacks thing in a weird place. And you should put it over here behind the glass, maybe. This is a really busy set, but I like it. Now that I noticed that I think there's Dark Souls 3 memorabilia on the fucking thing up here. When I noticed that, the CRT was like what fucked me. Possibly the N64, honestly. But then I saw this and I was like, legit. I saw this and I'm like, legit. I saw this and I'm like, that saves you from having to say that. That's legit. And then I saw this and I'm like, goon juice. That's not what it says, though. It says goof. And then I noticed the golden play button was missing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this record thing? Are you getting a Grammy? Ooh-wee. I mean, Lil Homie's got like varied tastes. So can't be mad here.
Play a sad song on the world's smallest violin. But today I got tired at 10 o'clock, and
I'm doing the Monster Hunter World Beta benchmark on the Steam Deck to see what the fuck it says.
hit the bed by 10:30, and I actually caught some Z's. I haven't gone to sleep at 10:30 since high school. And I
haven't gone... When I was in high school, I was staying up for 3 days straight to watch an Ed, Edd n Eddy marathon, actually. So I'm just saying, cousin. Like, holy shit. I don't know what to tell you. With Ed, Edd n Eddy? You must put... You have not enough pylons. You must place that on creep. You have not enough pylons. You must place that on creep.
snoozed for about 3 hours. Then
Bitch, you've been playing Dark Souls 2. Shut the fuck up.
I couldn't go back to
Respectfully.
sleep. It's just, that's why I don't try to go to bed early. I literally can't, my body gets me up. Now I know you didn't come here to hear me yap about my sleeping trouble, but I gave you a little piece of it regardless. You came here to hear me complain about a movie.
I talked
And
about
you're not
bad sleep
getting
too,
that
though,
either.
so I'm good.
I actually
That's fine.
didn't hate this film. What film am I talking about? Just realized I didn't even tell you what movie. Hard Eyes.
What the fuck
I
is
only
Hard
saw
Eyes?
this because people said it was surprisingly
never heard
good,
of
and I
this.
couldn't believe them, because all the trailers just made it seem like a really generic, shitty slasher film that maybe had a
I clicked
chance
the
of
wrong
being
button.
fun bad, but I thought it was a movie that maybe I'd watch when it hit streaming and that would be that. But people started to glaze it and I got curious. I said, let's see what all the fuss is about. What's this hubbub?
What's all the
Hey.
hubbub, bub?
Walked out of that theater pretty happy. I don't think it's an amazing movie. Far from it. But it's a very self-aware movie. It knows what it is. It's a rom-com slasher, and somehow it works
switching games.
pretty well.
God damn it,
It works
that's the wrong
well as a
thing.
slasher, and it works well as just like a date movie. A tough
what's
balancing
up.
act, but it somehow pulls it off really well. And I think it's because the movie's very self-aware. It
Hmm.
knows that this isn't unique. You know, a Valentine's Day killing movie, that's not an original concept.
But it
It's
is
nothing
funny,
that
tell you
someone's
that
going to
much.
be like, whoa, an interesting blend of genres here. It's been done a million times, you know. What's next? A movie with boobies in it? Who could ever do that?
A movie with fake
And it's
explosions
fine.
on
It's
it.
unapologetically okay with that fact. So, the slasher part of this film, because the film's kind of two separate things. It's a slasher, and it's also just like a rom-com, which usually would get my eyes rolling, but it does it very well here. So, let's talk about the slasher part of the film first. It's good. A lot of gory, over-the-top, silly kills. It's also a really dumb concept. This killer has heart eyes on his mask, and he's hunting couples on Valentine's Day. Whoa, holy shit!
That's what's
And
up, dude.
That's exactly what happens. Somehow, Hard Eyes is just normal human being that's stabbing people using throwing knives like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 kill
That's
cams
legit.
and like a little crossbow type thing.
Like it's consumables and Elden goddamn ring. Let's go.
Kind of like what Guts has from Berserk. He has the same
Don't you dare tie it together like that. Shut the fuck up, man.
shit and he just
Holy
shoots
shit.
people with the
Don't
arrows.
you dare.
It's cool. And it leads to some
Yeah, it sounds
really
fucking cool.
fun sequences
Goddamn.
that are
I'd fuck with
very
this.
explosively gory to a comical degree. Like I said, this movie's
up?
very self-aware, so it'll have some kills in here that it knows are stupid. For example, there's a beheading in here that is just like straight out of a
Who
cartoon.
doesn't like that?
They get
That's
like a
what's
blade through
good.
their neck, but they're a little off the ground, so then gravity starts yanking on them, and then their head is ripping apart slowly, and it's
that.
like spaghetti
Say that all you
noodles
want,
holding it
bitch.
together as the flesh is ripping. And it's, you know, then the head falls off and lands in their lap. Like, it's very, like, to me, it seems like they were just having fun when coming up with creative kills. And it's, like, again, there's nothing new here. There's no kills you haven't seen before in other films. It's just executed strongly. Now, what really surprised me is that all of the romance dating side of this film actually works. The chemistry between the two main characters is really good. And it's
wild.
I really think it's because the dude here, he is like the actual Riz sorcerer. This guy's like the warlock of Wu. Like,
I'm making my friend watch this with me.
this guy was such a smooth
Oh, hell
talker, he
yeah.
almost
This
had me
sounds
sucking
fucking
farts out his
hilarious.
butt. So he is like at all times just this Casanova with this girl who's like she's a tough nut to crack. You know, she doesn't like love. She may work in an industry that promotes love, but she herself doesn't believe in it. In fact, she's afraid of it and running from it. And yet this guy, he's trying to get through to her. No, love is great. I'm a hopeless romantic in a world filled with romance heathens, that kind of thing. And
In
while
a
it
world
sounds
of blood
cringy,
and gore.
and it is cringy in a lot of instances, it knows that. So it somehow is able to just be cringy in like the right ways, that the romance side of this works so fucking well. Like, this dude is what Redditors used to think they were back in 2012 when they would ask each other for dating advice. It's this guy. And watching
As
it
a
on the
Reddit
big
user,
screen,
go fuck yourself.
It somehow just like works really well in the context of this film. So I was just never bored when watching the dating side of this film, the actual romance of it. I actually had fun. And the jokes in this movie weren't bad. Like, there was actually a couple times where I giggled, which you would never catch me giggling at a modern rom-com. And this one,
Apparently you
it
did.
did it. It really, like, it never felt like it was a parody either, which is surprising to me, because that's a very tough thing to, like, skirt the line on, where it becomes so self-aware that it is now a parody of the genre that it's in. It doesn't do that somehow, and that's surprising, because there's a couple times where, like, Hard Eyes is hunting down our two main characters, and they'll make, like, a quip. You know, like a
I'm
Marvel
making my
quip,
friend
like,
watch this with me.
"We're not even dating. Can you just go kill somebody else? Jeepers, zoinks." They don't say the last part, but they do say, like, "Hey, we're not even dating. Just can you go kill somebody else?" That kind of thing. And it actually feels in line for these characters. Not to the point where it's satirical. It actually just feels like a quirk that they'd have where they'd say some shit like that in a really intense situation. The movie just does a good job of making you care about these characters and buy into them.
That's what's
So
up.
you actually want to see them succeed against the Hard Eye Killer. Now, I praised the movie a lot, but there's some shit in here that just stinks. And I'm going to get into spoilers. Full warning. I'm going to get into spoilers. Watch out. Beware. Okay,
You've been
you've been
warned.
warned. I really
Shut up, bro.
hate
Stop it.
the ending of the
Stop.
film. Not so much like the kills that happen at the end and like the big climax of it. I hate that the film just wants to be Scream again. It wanted to just be Scream really bad, and I got that DNA sprinkled throughout the whole film because obviously you're gonna pick up on the hints of Scream throughout it. You'll definitely get that aroma, but it really does go
That's what's
hog
up.
wild on just wanting to be Scream at the very end. When they reveal that there's multiple Hard Eye Killers, it's actually a throuple. There's 3 of them, and they're all romantically involved, kind of. One of them was just a big fan of the Hard Eyes Killer, so they let him become one. I guess that doesn't make sense, but okay. I just thought that was so weak and stupid. It wasn't even, not even like stupid to the point where it felt sensical in the film. It just felt kind of lazy, you know? And I really hate that the motivation for the killings is a kink. In fact, they say verbatim, "Killing couples is our kink," and then they even put
Ew.
like a fucking Vocaloid on that last word where it goes
Ew.
"killing,"
You were warned.
and it's like, what?
I love spoilers because else I won't watch a damn thing. Like, if you don't spoil it for me, I will never have the motivation. I will just do what I know, and I will just go play fucking Monster Hunter, fucking Dark Souls, fucking, like, The Wolf Among Us. I will go do something else that I know. If you don't spoil shit, I will never watch it.
Like what? Come on, it
I don't know.
can't be
This is
that
cool.
dumb.
It sounds fun.
It is.
I'm still gonna watch this. Like, I explicitly have like said before, and I'll say again, I'm gonna watch this with my friend. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, homie, I need you to come to my house right now." And they're gonna be like, "Why? What's up? Are you okay?" I'll be like, "Yeah, of course. I'm good as shit right now. However, you didn't text me when you got home last time, and in addition to that, bitch, I need to go and know what I'm getting into." Like, I barely watch movies. My friend has watched like 4,000-ish movies, they say. I've watched like A Bug's Life, Toy Story, Constantine, Godzilla, 2000. That's like more than half the movies I've watched in my whole life, I think. Like, I don't watch movies. I barely watch television. Like, I'm not that person. I do not give a shit. You have to sell it hard. I've watched like Poirot, The Three Stooges, Hogan's Heroes. I've watched Dexter and the sequel of Dexter with my 1X. But like, that's the thing. Like, you have to like make me watch it. Like, either someone I know is interested in it and I'll watch it with them because they're interested, or I won't watch it. Or you'll have to spoil it and make me interested through your enthusiasm, whoever you might be. Because unless somebody makes it sound interesting, I'm never going to do it. I prefer to play my fiction interactively. I like to read more than I like to watch movies. I barely watch television. I barely watch movies. I actually don't like watching movies. Like, I just outright think I should say it for clarity's sake. I don't like movies. I don't like television. I watch it when people are excited about it and enthused. I watch it because someone I care about loves it. In this case, I'm going to watch it because it's like this man gives good delivery on why I might want to, right? Like, if he weren't enthused and I weren't hearing about it, spoilers included, I swear to fuck I wouldn't give a shit. I would never watch a movie in my life. I've literally only watched movies like The Toxic Avenger, A Hobo with a Shotgun. Like, I've only watched those because I deeply care about people who loved those movies. I will never watch a movie on my own accord. I will never watch most TV shows. Like, Bluey took other people telling me why I might like it. I don't care to watch television. I don't care to watch movies. I care to read fucking engineering material. I like doing that. There's a reason I can crack open NIH. and just like read for 5-6 hours on stream. That's what I do for fun. I don't do that because I'm performatively doing it on stream. I do that because I love doing that. That's what I get my joy from. Number 2 sucks. 1 and 3 are great. Also, I watched Hell House because I love horror, right? But I don't watch it on my own. It took a friend of mine who worked on many haunted house sets and loved doing stage design too to talk to me about it passionately, for me to give a fuck. I would have never watched that shit. I just never give a fuck. I like my interactive fiction. If I can't
Yeah, no.
play the
It
fiction
did s-
with my own 2 goddamn hands, I don't care to do it. That's the thing. Catch you tomorrow. I'll be headed out after this. I found a movie I want to watch.
Subvert my expectations.
I don't even know its name right now. It looks so good though.
I thought
It
it-
sounds so fun. I don't know. I'm watching this with a particular friend of mine. Like they like movies. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna come to them with a movie for once. I'm gonna be the movie person this time, bitch. God damn. Like, I like playing Fallout on survival. Yee. We'll see. Yeah, I think you're right though, Vess. But I like Fallout on survival. I like games that are punishing but fair. I like my Dark Souls. I like my Fallout survival. I like playing roguelike games. I like games where death is something to avoid, where it ingrains that in me. I like games that have a hard learning curve because I do so for my cognitive elasticity. I play games in part because of how it grows and bolsters my brain as an organ that needs maintenance. Like, it's not some one dimensional. I just like playing games in fiction. It's like I do things that are challenging because I want to grow my brain in amazing and fun ways for me. Yee yee. That's all. That's what I like doing. I like hard punishing shit that makes me eat ass and taste grass between my teeth. As to I might wake up another day with something ingrained in my head. Just the practice of like learning and how to learn is something that is so easy to lose that I must cultivate it to feel good about life, I think. Just saying.
It was gonna be something like, had my heart broken, so now I'm breaking hearts. Literally. That kind of thing. So I guess, kudos to them for not doing that, but I also don't really like this where it's just a fetish. And it's really weird where
not
like
either.
one of the Hard Eyes killers is saying to the other Hard Eyes killer, like, yeah, it makes us so hot seeing these couples so in love and then we take their life. And then they're like kissing each other and then she's licking his face going,
Ew,
while they're talking about killing the
ew.
couples. Like, it's very over the top, which fits in line with the movie, but it just feels like so
I'm still watching it with my
like,
one friend.
dumb to the point where like it stops being fun, it just starts being dumb. And then he even says some like real embarrassing stuff like, yes, mommy, I will kill them, mommy. Oh, and all like even moan sometimes. It's, I don't know. I just thought the ending
I hate
was
the parent
really fucking
nicknames.
weak. I did not
Those are
like that. I
gross.
do like the final showdown with the Hard Eyes couple, thruple, whatever. Like, I think that worked well, but man, it was just, it's so stupid. But it didn't make me like hate the film. I don't think it ruined the film by any means, but I feel like you could have done something a little different. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm an outlier in that fact. Maybe people will see that and they'll be like, "Oh, wow, that was crazy. That was amazing. I love."
Wowee, the way they made love after doing that murder was just so mind-blowing. Didn't expect that out of left field. Ooh, my gosh, golly gee willikers. Boy, oh boy, wouldn't have seen that one coming from a mile away. Yikes, my guys. Holy shit, tits and Galifianakis. Ooh!
that it turned out to just be a weird kink. Yay, yippee. But for me, I just thought, damn, that shit kind of sucks. Another thing I thought that the movie didn't do very well is making the Hard Eyes killer scary. Hard Eyes, throughout this entire film, you could tell was just like a normal person. Not only were they extremely inefficient at their kills, for the most part, like a lot of it was for the sport of hunting them down, but they were like easily overpowered multiple times throughout the movie. Like from the very beginning, they kind of established that Hard Eyes
Okay, I like that. I think normalizing them as people and then showing that they can do abhorrent shit and then fucking their day up. If we get that like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, I like that keep me off kilter shit. That seems legit.
Is kind of like a bumbling buffoon. So like when chasing one of the victims, he'd get his hand hit in the door and be like, "Ouch!"
I don't want fucking Superman, Batman, Lex Luthor tier fucking murderer. I want to see them get their ass beat while being a fucking person, but doing some egregious shit that like feels monstrous. I want them to feel monstrous without trying to portray people who do that as monsters. Because they're people like us. They just do some shit that we don't get behind at all. And they could grow. And I think if it's hitting that and it keeps you off kilter with like the disparity between like the gregariousness of their kills and the like humbling nature of their humanity, I could imagine that being the off kilter bullshit that I like. I might dig this for that more.
Ooh, and he even goes like, "Ah, ee,"
might be down
actually
with
just
this.
getting beaten sometimes. Now he did
That's what's
ultimately
up.
end up killing that person, but still, they never established Hard Eyes as like this super strong force.
Like if it's very like blasé and just placates our need to feel like Strange, then I'm not gonna dig it. But if it's like a well choreographed back and forth, like what I say I love about Baroque and don't like about classical is the way it grabs your heart and just whisks it around as it wishes willy-nilly, you know? Like if it's like that, I'm down. If it's like really performative and it's just like some bullshit, I'm not gonna give a fuck about that part in particular at all. But I feel like I hope it takes me off kilter. I hope it throws my expectations. I hope it makes me feel confused. But if it feels very cut and dry, I'm gonna be so bored of that one part.
It's like
Holy
a very
shit.
terrifying presence. It was always just a guy with some blades, who's also just not even like a good shot with that little crossbow. He misses more times than he hits. He does kill people with it, for sure, but the majority of the time he's not hitting them. And it's also just
poor
kind of
baby.
underwhelming how often Hard Eyes gets beaten in like a 1v1. So like the girl, when she's getting hunted by Hard Eyes, the main girl, Hard Eyes is about to get her and she hits him with like I forgot, like a trash can or something. He's like, "Ah!" And then he's going again, and then she kicks him.
That's
He's like,
what's up.
"Ooh!" And then like starts falling, and then it's on like a merry-go.
Nah, forced manipulation. That's what's up. That's what we like to see. Like you get given an inch, you take a bajillion inches off of somebody's dome. That's what's up, duder. That's some shit, my guy. That's what's up, dude. We like to see that. That don't take people's bullshit. They come at you with some bullshit, you come at them with a smackdown. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. God damn it. Mm-hmm.
Go around, and then she kicks him again, and he's like, "Ah!" And then like flies away, like literally ragdolls Hard Eyes. And you're watching Hard Eyes just get like tossed around
that
like
sounds
fucking dirty laundry,
so
and it's
sad.
like, this is the killer. How has he even been successful at killing people for so many years? He is getting manhandled right now. So like, I don't think they did a great job of making Hard Eyes like this really, scary, super adept killing machine. It was just kind of like a dude who sometimes successfully kills people, which is fine. Again, that's not the biggest deal in the world, but I did want to at least mention that. Overall,
That's what
the
I
movie
could
was
like,
so much
though.
better than I expected. Like, I understand why people are praising it. I get it. This is a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's a great film by any means, but it is like, it's an I wouldn't even call it a bad movie. It's like an enjoyably, like, fun film to sit through if you're willing to just not worry about it being
Sort?
like
That's
something
weird.
new or anything.
Do you?
So yeah, I liked it. I'm surprised I liked it. That's about it. So, yeah.
Why? So the differentiation of what they put time into is actually brilliant. Like a soap, a drink, PC referral codes from a place that they have affiliation with, and the comic. Like the comic, the drinks, the soap. That's a good spread. That like plus the stream, plus the vid, plus the like plus the inclusion of like long form and short form content. That's what's up, dude. That's like actually some shit. All right. I appreciate y'all immensely. I'm gonna go lay on the couch, enjoy that I've already showered, have dinner, because I want fucking noodles and I've eaten like a reasonable adult human being all day. Bullshit. Let me live that lie. And I just want my fucking noodles. It's fine. I'll have noodles with like hella chickpeas and broccoli and cauliflower and like holy shit. They'll be like proteinous as a motherfucker. They'll be good. It's good. Don't worry about it. I got this. If I keep these tabs open for tomorrow, we'll be...
What happens if you don't level up ADP in Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin? Hey, welcome back everybody, Stream Your Mind.
That'll be our tomorrow. Hope you know. I hate stopping and playing someone's shit. But that's our tomorrow. I'll keep this open as long as my compoot poot doesn't go poot poot. Thank you for hanging out with my bitch ass. Thank you for your time and just being present in my fucking garbage ass fucking excuse of an existence. I know I could do better as a person, but I'll work on it every fucking day. I swear to fuck, tell you what. Anywho's, thank you so much for just being present. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being sweet. I wish you the absolute best, whomever you are or wherever you're going. May the best come to you. Take care. Be well. I appreciate you. Please have a lovely one. Bye. Thank you. Love you. Bye. For real though. Appreciate y'all equally. Regardless of who the fuck you are or what the fuck you do. I just want you to fucking thrive and flourish. So please do that. Bye-bye.